Welcome to Face-to-Face AV at ISE 2024 here in beautiful Barcelona. I'm Gareth Hayward with the SDVOE Alliance, and today it's my pleasure to be joined by Thomas Tang, founder and president of Apantac. Welcome, Thomas.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. So, our topic for today is going to be open gear, but before we get to that, perhaps you could give us a quick intro and tell us a bit about Apantac and what are some of your areas of expertise.
Well, so Apantac was founded 16 years ago. Uh, our roots come from Grass Valley, Phillips. So we started making broadcast type of equipment,
Right.
and our very first product was a multi-viewer. But since then, we started making all sorts of different stuff. We have 200 products in our catalog now. We make open gear cards, we multi-viewers, we conversion distribution, both in HDMI, in SDI, in IP type of product.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, you sort of moved into that we used to call the glue products kind of
Yes,
company.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my background's broadcast too, of course, from SDI. But yeah, and with that, SDI was very popular interface used in open gear. So let's talk about open gear. And perhaps you can tell us what is open gear. Is it a standard?
Well,
What's it about?
open gear is a standardized frame that I don't want to misquote it, but I think there's a couple hundred different partners making cards.
Wow.
Um, so the idea is it's open. Anybody can make a card that goes into it. And so if you have a system that you could buy cards from multiple different vendors to fulfill your needs. The best part of it is the frame itself has all sorts of certifications, right?
Right, right.
And it has redundant power supply, it has network management, has all that. That's really built robust for the broadcast environment.
Wow. So in a way, it's similar. It's like an ecosystem similar to SDVOE in a sense, in that, there's different form factors, but they all sort of behave to a certain standard. And in this case, it's a physical standard.
Exactly. It's exactly. So one of the things that we did is because we've been an open gear partner for many years, what we wanted to do is to bring that reliability of the broadcast environment
Right.
to Pro AV.
Gotcha.
That's why we started building products like SDVOE products into an open gear frame.
So good segue into that. The specific product you're making for SDVOE. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, so we make a transmitter and a receiver card in
Two cards?
two cards. As of earlier this month, we made one card. Now we make two cards, and really we also make boxes, right?
Mm.
So it really depends on your architecture. And the good thing is that in Open Gear, there's Open Gear and there's Open Gear Connect. So with Open Gear Connect, we can connect any of the boxes in the Open Gear ecosystem. Then we also have cards. And we take advantage of the Open Gear form factor.
Right.
We could actually put 20 SDVOE cards in a frame.
Wow. That's impressive.
So by doing that, what we do is, because it's Open Gear, it's hot pluggable.
Yep.
So anytime you have any issue, you don't have to go to the back of the rack looking for your source,
Yeah.
look for your power supply. You could just take the card out,
Yeah.
put it back in without ever having to unwire.
Right. And that's great for things like live events where you may have different configurations depending on the event. So you might want more transmitters than receivers, for example. So in a single frame, you can change that mix and match.
You can have transmitters and receiver in the same frame.
Right.
So
Right.
so you can bring some sources back
Yep.
and at your location. So it's actually very, very, very flexible.
Yeah, and also I guess it also reduces the footprint because the size of open gear cards is fairly small, and you're basically getting that in a 2U, 3U rack?
2U rack.
2U rack.
Yeah, you can
That's
put 20 cards in
incredible.
there.
Yeah, so from a sustainability standpoint, there's less materials, there's less weight, lower power, and you can basically just populate what you need. If you don't need the full rack,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then you can grow when
that's
you need
excellent.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the sound of that. I really like the open gear format, the concept is really good.
You know, if you need some SDI, we could put an SDI to HDMI card in there and run
Perfect.
SDVOE.
Well, that's the other thing too. It doesn't have to just be SDVOE cards. You can do some peripheral conversion if required.
That's
So, for
right.
example, if all your cameras are SDI, but all your encoders are HDMI, add some open gear cards to do the conversion, right?
Well, exactly. So for like rental and staging, right? So you can standardize all your transport with AV over IP with SDVOE.
Yeah.
But on the front end, you could do everything in SDI or HDMI, whatever you want.
Right.
But then all you have to do is run it through IP, right? By
Yeah.
using SDVOE.
Yeah. That makes total sense. That's very cool. Okay, so that's great. Thanks for the overview and the details on the open gear concept. What else is Apantac doing? What else? What other cool things do you have at the show?
Well, we also have a STM card that we're showing, an SDVOE STM card. It's actually being shown in several places at this show. We have it over at IDK, one of our partners, over at ZV, over at
Excellent.
Panasonic,
Wow.
and
Okay.
they're being shown as transmitter receivers and multi-viewers. So
Fascinating. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Thomas. It's been a pleasure having you here, and I hope you have a great rest of the show. Thanks, everybody.